Hi, it's me with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks, and I'll be the first one to admit I don't know what I'm doing here. But somebody would like to reduplicate this stitch and make it look like it's been stitched with a machine. And I put flowers in mine just to, so I've done it three different ways. If I don't remember when Object to Path started, but most newer versions have it. I did it 400 objects per path. And then I did it 600. And it just kind of all went together. Now, object to path takes forever. I changed up my drawing a little bit and did this one at 500 blends. And we're going to do another one with 6 just to kind of show you. But what I did say, I drew my version of a stitch, and I even made it a little narrower on the top than the bottom, so it'd go around the corners. But what I did on the second one, I actually made a copy of it and nudged it over. Well, that's pretty far. Let's change that. I forgot how little I was working with. Let's just make it like a ½ inch. And this is how I just kind of thought I'd add a little darkness to it, much like the picture, it's not all one color. And that maybe could be later. And I don't know if this is going to help this person or not, but I'm giving it my best shot. So what I'm going to do is make a duplicate of that and move it over. Then I'm going to left click, right click. And we're working with something so small you have to use a hairline. But I'm going to go to the shape tool and I'm going to right click on that and break it apart. And right click on that one and break it apart. That way I'm only going to have a line on one side when they meet. Now you can't really see it, but you can really see it when it blends. So now group this together, Control G. Control D to make a duplicate and move it over. Now, I did this one at 500, and there's a little bit of gap between them. So we're going to try 550 and just see what happens. So when object to path, you only have to use one object. And I've got plenty of videos on object to path, but on this blend, I'm going to grab both of them. I'm going to go to Effects and Blend 550 times. And blend actually works a lot faster on my computer. Object to path really took a few minutes to work. Make a new path, blend along full path, and rotate all objects. And that's a much better result. Now, you can still see some space between the stitches. Let's just try it on a blend with 600. And the person I'm doing it for, you just have to play around with this. And draw your own stitch. You might be able to come up with something better than mine. So, it kind of does and it kind of doesn't. You can't really see the black line between them. But that's just what I'm trying to accomplish now. To put a picture in there, it's a little bit different. You actually have to go and break the blend apart and then go up to object and group it. That's the only thing I've got over object to path that I like more than blend, because I'm going to have to move some of the others out of the way so I can get that path and see what I did, then move that back. Now to get my path, I'm going to 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to change my nudge to like 2 inches. And then I brought in just I just searched fall flower arrangement. I'm actually going to go a little bit further over. Then do not move this and bring in your flower arrangement. And I mean, she's probably got ideas for this. I'm just seeing what it's going to look like. So do not move your heart, move your flower arrangement, and then select it all and intersect, and then move it over. Taking just a second, my old laptop's having trouble keeping up. That shouldn't take that long. There's a lot going on this page. But it's going to look like, well, I can't even zoom in. I must have hit a wrong key. If you'll bear with me just a second. There it is. So I did do it. I just hit 2 keys at one time, I think. Now, whether that's good enough, but right now, that's all I can come up with. You could try, changing the stitch and maybe just using an oval. Let's try one more thing. Well, here we got a good heart, and that's the other thing I don't like about the blend. It takes away your with object to path. You still have a good clean object, and as you can see how I even made the top smaller than the bottom. Let's say you don't want that outline, just take that outline away. And let's say we don't want this enough bumps. There must be 2 things there. Group of 2 objects. Oh, there was a hidden object. So now I can take my shape tool and I can actually change these down a little bit where they won't be quite as noticeable. And I think I'm still going to want them narrower at this end. I'm actually going to see, wonder what if we just put on this end, just do that. Let's see what happens now. Now I'm going to go ahead and put an outline on it. I'm not going to change. Well, I can't stand not having both in the same picture. But to put that outline, I just, need to change my nudge factor to 0.5 and put an outline on it. Now, it's so small that we cannot even make anything other than a hairline. And I don't know in printing if a hairline shows. So now I'm going to change my nudge factor to 0.25. Well, I didn't have to do that. I'm taking too much of your time. I'm sorry. Let's take away the fill. I still think that might be a good idea to have just one side. So I'm going to right click and break it apart, black and not both sides. But you could try both. Let's just see how it looks. Group that together, Control G, make a duplicate of it. And you could probably even mirror it. So we got these 2, we did 600, and that's pretty close. Apply, blend a new path, blend along full path and rotate all objects. That might be the key. I would maybe do this on both ends. It all depends on what look they're trying to get at. And there might even be a way you could figure out how to cut that out. Having the double stitches, and you probably can. I'm going to keep going, break the blend apart, object, group, and ungroup, And if you didn't like those double stitches, wonder if we can't delete them. Well, I went too far. And I don't know though, after I'm done, am I going to fill it back, be able to fill it back in? I don't want to cut my path. I should be able to move that path because we broke it all apart. Nope. Maybe I didn't break it apart. Sometimes I wish I hadn't gone this direction. There we go. There, no. Well, I can move that back if I can get my path. There we go. Just move my path away, grab that, put it back. And I'm not saying that you'd want to do this, but you could get rid of these double lines and my computer's going to lock up again. And you can kind of see remember when I just took out one side of the black? Let's just cut out a few more lines and then call this good. See, I cut out one too many. Now I don't think we're going to be able to put the fill back. Well, you could go in and maybe refill those with the Smart Fill tool. If it's not, it's going to leak all over the page. Anyway, I hope that gave her at least some suggestions or some ideas. I'm trying to get to the zoom tool. One of these, the 500 blends, the 600 blends. Anyway, a little bit of fun project. Hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.